Welcome to our program. It's called Weconnect. Appreciate you joining us here today. My guest is Tonia Koloff. Now, she's a professional photographer, and for one so very young, she's already beginning to make a tremendous name for herself. And it really is our pleasure to have her with us today on our program. Thank you, Tonia, for giving us your time. I know that you're a busy, busy lady. Now, it's rather unusual profession for a lady, and just wondering about that.
Yeah, I always wanted to do something different. I never really liked to do the things that normal people do. I always wanted to stand out, and wanting that kind of something different. I liked art. My lights always landed to the art category, and I come from a family of my dad's an artist, my sister's an artist, but I could never paint or draw or anything like it.
Photography was the next option, was it?
Not really.
No?
I attempted painting, I attempted drawing, and my dad sent me to college to learn how to paint and to draw.
Did you learn?
I didn't learn anything.
No. Okay.
But however, I started to like photography then, and my uncle, he was a very good photographer, and my dad used to tell me stories of the dark room and that just made me more interested in it. And in college I took it up as a major in my subject, but then I went on to specialize in photography, where I went to Ooty and I did my course there.
At the Light and Life Academy. That's a very well-known place.
Yeah.
I know the place. I've been there a couple of times, yes. I know both Anuradha and Iqbal quite well, yes. However, having said this now, so photography was your goal, your aim. Is it a difficult profession for a lady?
Sometimes it can be challenging, I should say, but if you look at it, nothing is difficult. I always push myself to get better things and to get farther, rather than just staying back and saying no, it's difficult and put it off.
Good for you. Obviously, that's why you're doing so well. What particular type of photography are you really most interested in?
I'm very interested in fashion. I love fashion.
Look like a fashion plate yourself.
Thank you. I like fashion, and I even like portraits. I like capturing emotions, expressions. I love clicking people, but I also click other things like landscapes and this and that, various segments, interiors, advertising. I'm into everything, but my heart is in people.
Is it difficult to photograph people? I mean, how do you first have to interact with them a lot and then get them into a mood and get them into the way you want them to be?
Yes. We have you have to break the ice, basically, get to know them. And when I photograph a person, I get to know them on a personal basis. You have to build that relationship with them. Then only you can get out whatever you want, like in your picture.
Right.
So I go all out to talk to them and just exactly what you're doing right now. Warm them up.
Yeah, right.
Stuff.
But tell me, Tonia, these days, do a lot of people want their portraits taken?
I should say it's picking up.
Really?
Yeah, it is. Many people would when they see work like that, they'll be like, wow, I really want to get my portrait done.
Do you do it in a studio?
I do most of it. It depends on my client. If they want just a plain backdrop or however they want it. Most of them now are going into the creative style. They want it in their house or they want it outdoors and stuff. So that makes it more interesting for me. And I can take my lights out and click them more natural. I like clicking natural pictures than posed and stuff like that.
But as a people, most of us Indians are not necessarily warm and natural in front of cameras. It's not something that comes automatically.
You have to just
what do you do? How do you do it? What do you do to get them eased up?
I sit and talk to them. I ask them about just what you're doing and stuff like that. Get them into the mood. And play music. Music really helps.
Really?
Play their favorite song and stuff like that. And they get into their zone, they get into that comfort zone. That's when they start interacting with you, they interact with the camera, and that's when you make your shot.
Right. What about fashion photography? Tell me about that. How does it work in Chennai?
Oh, it's a bit tough. Fashion photography is just picking up here. I've been clicking just normal model portfolios and stuff like that. But fashion, there's no boundaries to it. It can just go on.
You can go wild.
And on and on and
Yes,
on. Yes,
you can go really wild.
Yeah, you can really cross borders in that. But fashion you need to pick up more in Chennai. Right. I've not been out and shot fashion.
Right. Do you do a lot of advertising work? Is that what you're really doing, or like you're saying, models' portfolios and things like that?
Yeah, I do mostly models' portfolios and stuff. I do weddings as well. Okay. And the advertising has just picked up. I've done a shot for a shoe client and stuff like that. So it's just picking up, my advertising. It takes time once you get into the industry, and from there it takes off.
Right. How are you accepted by male photographers in the city? I mean, how do they relate to you? Are they saying, oh no, here comes competition?
I don't know what they think, but
don't ask them.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Don't ask them.
But most of the photographers, I'm lucky because they are my friends.
That's good.
Because when I passed out every year, Iqbal sir, he graduates around 30 to 40 photographers.
That's right.
So that covers most of the photographers in the country, and all successful photographers. So we've grown as a family. So we compete with each other, but yet we know each other. So it's not like I don't know them and I don't have to feel edgy about it at all.
Right. Now you have professionally trained as a photographer.
Yes.
I was just wondering that do you believe that in the industry that is absolutely necessary to be professionally trained, or is it okay to have the inherent qualities of being perceptive and having an interest in photography itself?
Interest will take you halfway, I think, but then you need technique. You need to know the rules to break them. If you don't know the rules, if you don't know the structure, then you can't just go on and shoot and stuff. But unless you really have good qualities and you have that real professional touch to you, then anybody can make it.
Right. So you say that it is far better to be actually professionally qualified. Yeah. Tony, I'm going to ask you to hang on, and when I come back after a very short break, we'll talk here to my guest about what it takes, in fact, to be a good photographer. So you please don't go anywhere.